Welcome back to This Day Live, the Sunday talk show here on the Arise News channel. Portuguese-born Jose Peseiro has left his position as the head coach of Nigeria's men's senior national football team, the Super Eagles. Peseiro announced his departure as Eagles boss through a post on X on Friday. The Portuguese coach disclosed that his contract with the Nigeria Football Federation had concluded and that no new agreement had been reached. Appointed as the head coach of the Super Eagles in 2022, Peseiro reflected on his tenure, describing it as 22 months of immense dedication, sacrifice, emotion, and enormous enthusiasm. He expressed gratitude to the players and the leadership of the Nigeria Football Federation. Joining me now to discuss this is Nigeria's ex-international and former captain of the Green Eagles, Segun Odegbami, popularly called Mathematica Odegbami. Chief Odegbami, thank you for joining us on This Day Live. Good to have you here. Well, Jose Peseiro, very controversial coach. 22 months of service to Nigeria, 22 games. He won 11. He lost 7. He drew the balance. Not many people were impressed with him. So now that his contract has ended and, Nigeria could not renew the contract, what should be, the way to see it? Relief or appreciation of his efforts?
Well, everything put together. For 22 months, he did his best for Nigeria, but his best was obviously not good enough when the team was preparing to go for AFCON. But through the 3 or 4 weeks of AFCON, relief, because the team came up, started to do fairly well, and got to the finals. So for that reason, I believe that's why he was so handsomely rewarded. Rewarded in such a way that he created history. I don't think any other coach in the history of football has ever been that lavishly rewarded, not for coming first, but for coming second. And he insisted that that's his mandate, that he was going to get to the semi-finals of AFCON. For some of us, that was not good enough. Our dream for Nigeria, particularly Nigerian football, is that we should be amongst the best in the world. So where you have somebody whose ambition is to get to the semi-finals of an African Cup, definitely he does not get to that mark. And as far as we are concerned, he has done well, he has served the country, delivered on his own personal mandate, has been handsomely rewarded. He should just go, take his largesse back to his country, and enjoy himself. Because for where we are heading now, he surely cannot deliver from what we saw in AFCON.
So, Chief Odegbami, you are more or less saying good riddance to Peseiro.
Those are your words.
Anyway, the argument on the table also has been that, look, we should stop relying on foreign coaches. These foreign coaches who operate like DHL coaches. They just come and, they are not even properly grounded in Nigeria here. So on the basis of that, some people are calling for indigenous coaches, homegrown coaches. But the other side of that is that, do we really have the skills, the technical expertise among homegrown coaches, indigenous coaches, as they are otherwise called?
Well, we are not discussing rocket science here. We are not discussing any exact science here. We are discussing a form of art. And we have the history of Nigerians in virtually every field that are doing exceedingly well around the world. Nigerians are some of the smartest people in the world, some of the most educated, some of the most qualified, and they have raised the bar of performance in the world in terms of what they are contributing. So why should it be different in football, which is just a game? And by the way, when you look at somebody like Peseiro, and you look at his antecedents, you look at his resume, you would find that he comes very, not even close to some Nigerians that have solid credentials as players, have gone to qualify to the highest level in Europe, which is the foremost qualification you need to coach anywhere in the world, and are in coaching. These are intelligent people that we should give a chance. So if we are doing that for other spheres of our lives, trying to eliminate this enslavement, this mental enslavement, colonial mental enslavement, then it is time we gave a Nigerian the opportunity to go out there. We must sink or swim with a Nigerian. That's the only way out. We cannot mortgage our country to any foreigner. And very simply put again, no foreigner has ever won the World Cup for another country. If our ambition is to win the World Cup, it just makes sense that we don't go for a foreigner. We go for a Nigerian, give them the opportunity. They may not do well to start with, but if you don't buy a lottery ticket, you will never win the lottery. There's no gain without pain. We have to go through that process.
Well, I mean, after Peseiro left, Augustine Eguavoen was brought back as interim coach of the team. But they keep using...
no, that's not correct. Augustine Eguavoen is the technical director.
Yes, but he's the one in charge now.
No, just listen to me. He's the technical director of the Nigeria Football Association. He's in charge of all coaches.
Okay.
And in the absence of a foreign coach and no one to take their place immediately, it is his responsibility to man that position. And anyway, there's no coaching to be done.
Okay. Because I was going to ask that Augustine Eguavoen's name keeps showing up. 2005, 2010, 2021. So I was going to ask, why does he show up like a spare tire? Because at the end of the day, it's not as if he takes charge. But some names have been mentioned to step into the shoes of Peseiro, including Sunday Olise, including Emmanuel Amuneke, and also Augustine Eguavoen. And you're saying, look, let's try a local coach, somebody who is homegrown, a Nigerian, not a foreigner, who will not win World Cup for another country. So do you have any specific recommendations? Do you have anybody in mind that you think can do the job?
No, I don't want to occupy that position. Yes, I have somebody in mind, but I will not just go public with it because they will shoot him down before it even starts. But I can assure you that some have been tested, some have not. And when you say you are hiring even a foreign coach, you look at his antecedents, somebody like Peseiro, he never won anything anywhere. And who would you bring? Would you bring somebody that has always won something? Who is that coach in the world? So in this field, coaches are engaged 90% of the time, they don't succeed. They don't win any trophies. Most coaches in the world don't win trophies anyway. It's the nature of their job. So I disagree with those who will just point at somebody who has handled a team for 1 year or 9 months and didn't succeed and say they can no longer succeed. That's not how football is. You cannot go there now and guarantee us you will win the next Nations Cup, you will go and win the World Cup or any such thing. But you will go there and do your best. And we know that we have coaches who are intelligent, who have all the experiences in the world. They played at local league. They played professionally abroad. They trained under some of the best coaches in the world. They went and qualified and got the highest qualifications in coaches. They are coaching presently. For God's sake, why would we not give it to them? Anybody who fulfills those obligations and that we interview and find intelligent enough and visionary enough to tell us where he's going to take this team, that person deserves to be given that job. And I know that 1 or 2 Nigerians easily qualify, and they deserve to be given that job.
You don't want to mention names?
No.
But in the case of Peseiro, there is a report that I saw that said the issue is that he wanted more money. You are even saying he's already over-rewarded for his poor performance. But I saw a report saying his salary was $50,000 per month. Now he's asking for, is it $150,000? What is a fair pay for a coach.
He was
head
earning,
coach.
he was earning $70,000 a month.
Oh, not even 50.
He was earning $70,000 a month. And because he wasn't doing well, they wanted to get rid of him. They reduced his salary to $50,000, and he still accepted it. Which coach in the world who is worth his, his pay would agree to such kind of reduction? So don't let us discuss about Peseiro. I knew that there was no way, after taking us through those 21 months that he took us through, that hardly any Nigerian had any confidence in him going to AFCON. We now go back to that vomit. No, it will not happen. And I'm so glad that it was the federal government that was paying him, and the federal government decided that they were no longer going to pay him. So whatever he wanted, that's his own headache. But as far as I'm concerned, let him go and enjoy his what do we call it now? I don't even know, because he just created...
You won't use the word loot. because he didn't loot anything.
I'm not
we
saying that...
We gave him national honor.
Me, I don't understand. Yes, it's a good thing that we acknowledge what he did, we rewarded him, but I would not personally have gone to that extent. If he had won the cup, what would we have done? We could have maybe opened the vaults of the central bank to give to him. But this, well, he has earned it, so let him go and enjoy it.
Well, your concern is about foreign coaches. Yeah. And part of the responsibility of a coach, of course, in that position is development of football. Now, where did we get it wrong? With the development of football, with the local league. I mean, in your time, local league was flourishing. Your generation, did very well at a time when the local league was working. The local league now, I don't know whether it's because Nigerians are now obsessed with La Liga, with Premier League. And then when we take these players to international competitions, we're inviting people from Europe, from everywhere. And yet, there are boys in the country still playing football. Why is it that all of a sudden they are not so good anymore?
The migration of our best players to foreign teams and foreign countries has reduced the stock of quality players we have in Nigeria, and it continues to do so. They are going out, even up till now. And so those that you have are not the first 11, even within the domestic game itself. And secondly, the world is a different place now, totally different place. Why was AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire outstanding? For me, one reason, the pitches on which those matches were played allowed for football of the highest standards to be played. I've been saying it since 1988, that if you want the Nigerian league to grow, there's only one thing you do. It is the cheapest thing to provide, but it is one thing that takes a serious mind, somebody who knows to accomplish. And it's the pitches on which this game is played. On the pitches we play these matches all over the country, you can never get the best. You have to still go to Europe or somewhere to hone your skills and your talent for you to become the best that you can be. You can't achieve it here. So, if we want to change our domestic football and get our people to watch, as they are watching the European leagues, the game here also has to be attractive. Once it is attractive, people will go back to it. The pitch, the football ground, not artificial turf, but grass that you see in all European football, grass that you see in AFCON, good, lush, green, level grass. It's as simple as that, but people cannot see it. It takes a technical eye to appreciate that. Even footballers themselves don't know. They just go to the field, and I went to negotiate with Manchester United to come and play here when I was working with Globalcom. Discussed everything. When they now asked where the game was going to be played, at the Slim Balogun Stadium, artificial turf, they would not come. We played against so many foreign teams here in those days because it was grass. You need grass turfs. And that's partly why I went to AFCON. I went representing an organization called Peculiar Ultimate Concerns. And I've advised them to go into the construction and maintenance of grass fields. If they can deliver grass fields, the Nigerian league will shoot up within 1 year, and we will start to attain what South Africa has attained, what Morocco has attained, what Egypt has attained, and what we can attain to take our football to the next level, which is European level, the grounds.
Like the Bafana team from South Africa that went for AFCON. About half of the team came from one club.
Absolutely.
And playing locally also. So,
absolutely.
Yes, you're right. If they can do it, we should be able to do it. But it's ironic that this is where we have found ourselves, considering the fact that football seems to be the major priority for the Nigerian government. Now, is there a role here for the private sector? Because in the past, when we said the Nigerian league was doing very well, it was also in part as a result of private investment.
The private sector will support any good product. Any good product that will reach out to Nigerians the way Nigerians trooped out to support their team in Abidjan. I'd never seen that kind of support. Every Nigerian all over the world was involved. You could imagine the people who were calling me, people who never even watched the game before, who got involved and were watching. That probably is the most powerful tool that we have to unite this country, to engage the youth, to create huge jobs for our children, our young ones, to establish, the football and other sports products, into that global business, which is humongous. We have to get involved. And also to build, to reorientate the minds of Nigerians. We need something like that. We are looking for other ways of doing it. But football is there. We saw it during AFCON, when nobody complained about tribe, religion, or whatever, or status, and everybody was backing something. That we should re-examine to see how we can tap into that energy. It is soft power tool for all manner of things. We are using it for diplomacy now. We can use it for youth engagement, for job creation, for national reorientation, and so on and so forth. We need to set up a group to look at the possibilities of what we can use football for, and sports generally. 38 sports, all of them huge businesses around the world that can engage all our children, hundreds of thousands of our children. But we are not taking the matter of football and sports seriously enough. We still see it as recreation. It has gone beyond recreation.
But there was a master plan, if I remember correctly, under Sunday Dari as Minister of Sports. And I think your name was mentioned in association with that. So what happened? These master plans, a minister comes, he talks about master plan, this is how we will grow this and that, and then another minister comes, nothing happens again. What happened to that master plan?
I'm not in government. I'm a private businessman. And those documents are still there. Documents before that are still there. We've been having committees and sittings, through so many decades now. And as I just said, government still does not see football and sports as the powerful tools that they are. They still see it as that momentary object that can bring us together. After the football match is over, then it is done. No. We can go beyond that. And it will only happen with innovation and creative thinking and different way of thinking and seeing it, and some investment, which government has to be involved in. And once we start to produce sports that is attractive, football that is attractive, the private sector will jump at it. Oh, they will jump at it. They are not charity organizations who just take their money and put into projects that are not beautiful to the eye. You cannot record properly. People are not watching. So what's the whole essence of it?
Well, finally, Chief Odegbami, some people have been saying it's not only Peseiro that should go. That we also need to do something about that team. That some goalkeepers should be retired. Some people in the midfield should be asked to just go home and all of that. Do you share that view? And who do you think?
No, footballers are born. You see, footballers are born. You cannot just wish for a JJ or Kocha to come from somewhere, or a Kanu Wankwo to be trained somewhere to start to play like him. No, footballers are born. And I can assure you that we have a lot of gifted players. some that can become exceptional if the environment is created for them to be exceptional. We know some that have not been caught by the net. You know, there's a net that catches them. People have to go out and see and watch. And Peseiro didn't do a good job of it. He didn't stay here at all. He wasn't part of the, going around to scout for players that will fit into his own team. But if we have a Nigerian, we all know him, we know the players around, and everybody is part of the contribution to discovering the best players here, to hone them, to develop their skills, to become people like JJ Okocha and Kanu, Nwankwo, and so on, that we don't have now. We don't have them. We all look.
But we have Osimhen.
You see, Osimhen is different. People waited for 6 matches for Osimhen to exhibit his individual skills and ability. They waited for 6. They could have waited another 6 because he didn't quite show it. He's a goal scorer. Look at Haaland of Manchester City. He's not attractive to watch. He doesn't play attractive football and so on. He works hard, he struggles hard, but he gets a chance and he delivers. Osimhen could be that kind of a player, but he needs to mentally develop the confidence to do things with the ball beyond the energy he expends and the running around that he does. Some clinical finishing is essential, which he still lacks a bit of. But with a little bit of time, he will get there.
But after AFCON and he went back to Napoli, he's been shining.
That's a totally different setup. That's a club that is used to, they are used to each other, they know how to play, and so on and so forth. Oh, he's a goal-scoring machine, if the environment is right. But for where he needed to take personal responsibility and do things as an individual, where everything around him fails. And then at AFCON, he was very closely marked. But he could still have done some things on his own, which I did not see him do. And I wish I had the opportunity towards the end to speak one-on-one with him, to give him the confidence to hold the ball and do certain things, like Kanu will do, like JJ would do, to make sure that he's truly outstanding.
Well, Chief Odegbami, I think I should let you go, but one final question. Do you think with Nwabari, we have solved our goalkeeper problem?
We have other goalkeepers. Amos Obasogi, I'm just dashing you his name. I saw him keep once for Bendel Insurance, and I said, this guy is going to go places. I don't know why Peseiro insisted on a goalkeeper that was not, up to the level we were looking for. He was so stubborn, just kept him there and kept him there. Nwabali just is an indication that there are other players out there, outside of Peseiro's limited understanding of Nigerian players, that will fit into that team and produce a better team for us.
Well, on that note, I would like to thank you very much, Chief Segun Odegbami, for joining us on This Day Live, the Sunday Talk Show.